What happens when someone says poop is sweeter than honey? Would you argue? Would you try to prove them wrong? Today's story reveals a powerful lesson that could save you from wasting your time, energy, and peace. Because sometimes the smartest person is not the one who wins the argument, but it's the one who knows when to walk away. Deep inside a beautiful forest filled with colorful flowers, tall trees, and flowing streams, there lived a wise ruler named King Bee. King Bee was respected throughout the kingdom. His thousands of worker bees gathered nectar every day and turned it into the finest honey in the entire forest. Animals came from far and wide just to taste it. The honey was sweet, pure, and golden. King Bee was known not only for producing honey, but also for his wisdom. Whenever disputes arose among animals, they often sought his advice. Not far away, near a dirty, abandoned hut at the edge of the forest, lived another ruler. His name was King Housefly. Unlike the bees, the flies spent their days buzzing around poops, garbage piles, rotten food, and animal waste. King Housefly was proud, loud, and stubborn. He believed he was smarter than everyone else. One sunny morning, King Housefly flew through the forest searching for attention. As he passed the flower fields, he saw hundreds of bees busy collecting nectar. At the center stood King Bee, inspecting the work of his colony. King Housefly smirked. "I wonder why everyone admires this bee so much," he muttered. "I'll show them who is truly intelligent." With that, he flew directly toward King Bee. "Good morning, King Bee," shouted the fly. King Bee smiled politely. "Good morning, King Housefly. What brings you here today?" King Housefly puffed out his chest. "I've come to settle a very important question." King Bee nodded. "And what question is that?" The fly grinned. "Honey or poop, which one's sweeter?" The surrounding bees immediately stopped working. They looked at each other in confusion. King Bee blinked. "Surely you're joking." "I'm completely serious," said the fly. King Bee chuckled softly. "My friend, honey is sweet. Everyone knows that." The fly laughed loudly. "Wrong!" the bees gasped. King Bee remained calm. "What do you mean wrong?" "Poop is sweeter than honey." The entire field became silent. Even the butterflies stopped fluttering. King Bee stared at him. "Have you lost your mind?" "No," said the fly confidently. "I am telling the truth." King Bee tried to reason with him. "Honey is made from flower nectar. Animals and humans enjoy it everywhere." The fly quickly replied, "That proves nothing." King Bee pointed toward the flowers. "Look around you. These flowers produce nectar. We transform it into honey. It is natural sweetness." King Housefly shook his head. Still not convinced, the bees began whispering, "This is ridiculous. Why is he arguing about this?" But King Housefly wasn't finished. He flew in circles. "Let's settle this properly. Let's take the matter before the forest court." King Bee sighed. He knew the argument was foolish, but he also wanted to end the nonsense once and for all. "Fine," he said. "We'll let the judge decide." The next day, animals from all over the forest gathered. Curious monkeys climbed trees. Deer stood quietly nearby. Rabbits sat in the grass. Everyone wanted to hear the strange debate. At the center sat the wise Judge Owl. Judge Owl had a reputation for fairness and intelligence. He listened carefully before making decisions. King Bee stood on one side. King Housefly stood on the other. Judge Owl cleared his throat. "I have heard many cases in my life, but this may be the strangest one yet." The crowd laughed. Judge Owl raised his wing. "King Housefly, present your argument."
Your Honor, I believe that poop is sweeter than honey.
The crowd erupted with laughter. Judge Owl signaled for silence. "And why do you believe that?" The fly smiled. "Because everywhere I go, flies gather around poop." He continued confidently. "We are experts on sweetness. Thousands of flies choose poop every day. Therefore, poop must be sweeter than honey." Some animals looked confused. Others shook their heads. Judge Owl turned toward King Bee. "What is your response?"
Your Majesty, honey is sweeter than poop because it gives nutrients to the body. It nourishes the skin and even animals.
The crowd nodded. Everything King Bee said made sense. Judge Owl stroked his feathers thoughtfully.
"I will not draw this to a conclusion today."
Instead, Judge Owl announced something unexpected. "I will conduct an experiment." The following morning, Judge Owl prepared 2 tables. On one table sat a large bowl of fresh golden honey. On the other sat a pile of animal waste. Animals gathered once again. Everyone waited eagerly. Judge Owl raised his wings.
Silent, silent. Everyone, today we are about to experience the law of nature.
Within minutes, bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds flew toward the honey. They happily gathered around it. Then something else happened. Hundreds of flies swarmed toward the waste. King Housefly smiled proudly. See? They chose it. King Bee remained silent. Judge Owl continued observing. I have reached my verdict. The entire forest became quiet. King Housefly grinned confidently. King Bee listened carefully. Judge Owl looked directly at the fly. King Housefly, your argument is incorrect. The fly's smile disappeared. What? Judge Owl nodded. Honey is objectively sweet. The crowd cheered. Judge Owl wasn't finished. However, the animals grew silent again. The real lesson here is much bigger. Judge Owl turned toward King Bee. You made a mistake. King Bee looked surprised. A mistake? Yes. The owl nodded. You should never have argued in the first place. The crowd looked confused. Judge Owl continued. You were trying to convince someone whose preferences were shaped by what he constantly consumes. If someone spends their life around waste, they begin to value waste. If someone spends their life among flowers, they learn to appreciate flowers. King Housefly lowered his head. Judge Owl's voice echoed through the forest. Not every argument deserves your attention. Some people are not searching for truth. They are only defending what they have chosen to love. The crowd became silent. Judge Owl looked at King Bee. Wisdom is knowing the difference between teaching someone who wants to learn and arguing with someone who refuses to understand. As the crowd dispersed, King Bee walked beside Judge Owl. I understand now, he said. The owl nodded.
What did you learn?
King Bee smiled.
I wasted my time trying to win an argument that never needed to happen.
Judge Owl replied, Exactly. Some battles are won by speaking, but others are won by remaining silent and walking away. From that day forward, whenever someone tried to drag King Bee into pointless arguments, he simply smiled and returned to his flowers. His honey continued to grow sweeter, his kingdom continued to prosper, and most importantly, he protected his peace. Meanwhile, King Housefly returned to the garbage piles, still convinced he was right, but King Bee no longer cared. Because wise people don't waste their energy arguing with those who are committed to misunderstanding them. In life, you will meet people like King Housefly. No matter how much evidence you show them, no matter how calmly you explain, no matter how obvious the truth may be, they will continue arguing. Not because they are seeking truth, but because they are attached to their own beliefs. And that's why one of the greatest forms of wisdom is knowing when an argument is no longer worth your energy. Remember, never argue with the wrong people. Sometimes the strongest response is silence, and sometimes the greatest victory is simply walking away. Thank you for watching. If this message spoke to your heart, like the video, subscribe, and share it with your friend. See you in the next video, right on Inspiration Stories.